Hey guys, so I'm just going to be taking you through a pretty quick what I eat in a day from when I got up until bedtime. This was a long day starting from about 3:30 a.m. until 11:30 p.m. So stay tuned. Good morning. It is way too early for 11. I've been struggling with some nights having a little insomnia. I think my body's trying to adjust to the stress of prep. So we're getting there, but wasn't really sleeping anyway. So I'm just gonna get up and train early and have a little slower start to my morning. So here I'm going to be eating a little pre-workout meal. I'll see if I finish the whole thing or not. Sometimes I notice I can feel a little overly full having too much protein powder and stuff before. I do like to have banana especially. So this is 100 grams of banana sliced, 1 Lundberg rice cake. I have about 2/3 of a scoop of Garden of Life chocolate sport protein, cinnamon, and 1.5 teaspoons of cacao nibs for a little extra treat that I wanted. So before my workout this morning, just taking a few supplements. So here I'm gonna be using some of this Just Ingredients caffeine-free pre-workout. I love this so far, only tried it once, but it really gave me a clean energy boost without the jitters. I have 2 of these adaptogen performance supplements by Gaia. They have ashwagandha, cordyceps, a few other things in them. I have some ashwagandha. I have some adrenal challenges, so I really need that extra adrenal support. And I have vitamin C, and then I took some B12. And then I also have my BCAAs I'm going to put in my water for the gym. And then I have glutamine post-workout. So quick post-workout oat bowl here. I've been noticing for myself is even though she wants me on lower calories in the morning, if I do a really hard workout in the morning, I tend to need more calories in the morning just so I'm not shaky and unfocused at work. So I'm tending to have a little bit higher calories in the morning, but of course I space it out throughout the day so I'm still on track with my calories. So here I have 40 grams of quick rolled oats. I just threw this in the microwave. I have 1 tablespoon of shredded coconut, 2 teaspoons of cacao powder. I put a little salt in here. Then I'm going to do 1 scoop of this plant-based protein that I have. Oh shit. Excuse the mess in here, by the way. I've just been meal prepping and throwing everything together. And then I measured out 30 grams of blueberries and about 100 grams of mango. Don't ask why, I was really craving some mango, even though it's like chocolatey tropical. Just gonna mix this up and get going for the day. All right guys, this is what I'm gonna be having for lunch tomorrow. I'm just making it the night before. These section Tupperwares are super convenient, and what I've been doing, since sometimes I want to stick to obviously pretty much the same calories and similar macros to what my coach has, but sometimes I want to make some swaps for like the protein, carbs, and fats. So as funny as it is, I use ChatGPT, basically just tell it the calories I need, the ingredients I want, and it tells me the portions. So I'm hoping pretty soon here I start to kind of remember how many grams are in everything, because this is very, very time consuming, but needless to say, it's very convenient. So I'm just gonna be making a bowl with some food I already have prepped here. So we're gonna be starting with about 30 grams of baby spinach. Now the only thing with these Tupperwares and why I do like the bigger bowls is it's kind of hard to fit everything in here, but you know, we make it work here. So at work too, we have dishes, and it's really easy for me to just put it all in a bowl, and that way I can keep my stuff clean and separated if I want to. About 36 grams of spinach, but actually I really like to do a little bit more spinach and just have more leafy greens as a base. It helps with more volume, satiety, and I just love salad bowls. They're just my favorite thing ever. I'm weird and I like mixing everything together. So I think one thing prep can really help me with is actually enjoying more simplistic foods, because I tend to overmix things up if I'm being honest. So we're gonna do the spinach there, and then we're gonna go ahead and do about 92 grams of cooked quinoa. Just gonna go ahead and put that in here. So we got our 92 grams of quinoa in there. I'm gonna go ahead and zero it out. Sometimes when I see the portions, I'm just so tempted to add more, but actually I've been feeling pretty full overall from my meals. My calories right now, she still has me at like 1950-ish on training days and 1900 on non-training, which is interesting how similar they are, but I can't even complain right now, to be honest. My calories are still pretty high. So then I'm gonna take about 60 grams of avocado. Have some healthy fats in there. I always just mix this all up at work anyway in a bowl, so to be honest, how it is presented right now is really not that big of a deal. Half of an avocado, wow, right at 59 grams right there. Perfect, could not have worked out any better. It's a little underripe, but it'll do. Then we're going to do 1/2 cup of cooked beets. See, this is why, you guys, I make this so overcomplicated. Could just have like a few simple items, but I'm over here throwing literally everything together just because I don't know, I like to mix things up. I don't like to have it all too plain. About 85 grams of beets going in here. I don't do beets much, but I had a couple in there and they go bad pretty quickly, I noticed. So I baked them with the yams. It took forever, but they are so delicious. Wow, that's a lot of beet. I don't know if it's already 81 grams. Okay, I don't know with that if I want to do much. 100 or so grams of quinoa. So we have about 60 grams of asparagus. I'm really trying not to overdo the fiber though, you guys. I've been feeling hit of some bloating and indigestion from doing too much fiber from dense vegetables like asparagus. And I think the issue is just also that my asparagus was not completely cooked. So I definitely am trying not to overdo that here. I'm only gonna do about 34 grams just so I don't upset my stomach anymore. And then so for this meal, just because I was lazy and from prepping this chicken, but I really didn't feel like prepping the cod too because it hadn't thawed out yet, I'm just going to be lazy and bring a can of albacore tuna, mix this in as a salad. So bodybuilding staple right here, you guys. So quick and easy. It's not the best thing in the world, but it gets the job done. Really, will say though, I really do love tuna salad mixed with avocado. Of course, if you're not on prep, you can mix it with some higher calorie stuff, like maybe some vegan mayo, which is so freaking good because I don't do dairy or eggs, and just so amazing. But anyways, for the dressing, I keep my dressing super simple too. So what I've been doing as a staple is I just take a little container here. Dijon mustard is one of the staples that goes into this. So I'm gonna do about 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, maybe a little bit more. I'm sorry, it's brown mustard. Do about 2 teaspoons of the Coconut Secret Cocoa Aminos. Then I do lemon juice, and then I just add some salt, pepper if I want garlic powder or something in there. This has been my staple go-to easy low-calorie salad dressing that still adds enough flavor but isn't obviously too high in calories. Very fresh and pure. I feel like I was really scared getting on prep that I just had to eat everything so bland and couldn't put any sort of sauce or seasoning on anything, but then I realized stuff like this you can still make a good dressing. It just doesn't have to be packed with calories and fat and sugar. So there's that. Just going to add a little bit of this seasoned salt in here, and I really love my spice, so I'm gonna add a little cayenne. And that is going to be my main lunch meal. And then I have, like, I guess you can call it another meal or a snack in the mid-afternoon, which I usually prefer to be a little bit sweeter. But that is everything. Pretty basic. And I have this with the can of albacore. The dressing here. This is just everything thrown together in a bowl at work, and then I had a salmon strip, some celery, and some raspberries in the afternoon. Just got back from a long day of work and just making my last meal, my dinner, praying that this fills me up because I'm getting pretty hungry, and I worked out super hard this morning, basically 2 hours. Did some extra abs too that wasn't in my plan today, and did a little bit of HIIT cardio, and I'm really hungry. So just again, using ChatGPT, basically telling it the calories I want and having it input the ingredients for me. So again, hopefully soon I'll have the general grams memorized for things so I don't have to spend so much time doing this, but it's super convenient for now. So right now I'm having here some pre-cooked. All this is already meal prepped, so I didn't do any cooking tonight, just reheating. I have some steamed peas, quinoa, some chicken breast, and then for the remainder, I'm going to be putting in 100 grams of Cucumber. So weird, you guys measuring everything out. It's so interesting for me to see what a certain weight is, because I think before starting prep, you can have false misconceptions of what like 100 grams of something is. Some foods it's way more and some it's way less. Like for instance, this is already 76 grams and that's a ton of cucumber. I don't want any more cucumbers. So for that, of course, right, it's always with the watery vegetables and fruits where it feels like, oh my God, you're getting so much. But when it comes to dense stuff like the quinoa, I'm like, oh my God, that's already over 100 grams and it looks like nothing. But what I've been noticing too, and what prep's really been helping me with, is just taking some more time to eat my food and not rushing through my meals. Because when I rush, that's when I tend to overeat and then I feel really overly full after. So I've really been working in prep to just take my time eating, slow down, chew my food, and just take like 15-20 minutes after to really assess how full I feel. And a lot of times I'm actually pretty full when I don't feel like I need to keep eating. A little bit over 30 grams, 33, but I use less cucumber, so it'll even out. Then I'm gonna do, see, I wanted some kale in here. So let's see how much 30 grams is. I do like big salad bowls, and I always like to do a little bit of extra greens just because it really adds that volume. So I feel fuller, more fiber and volume. So I might add a little bit extra here, but I can always shave off a little bit of something else. But kale's calories are so negligible and it's packed with micronutrients. So really, guys, I recommend making salad bowls in prep. I already live off them off of prep and they're just so filling and satiating. So that's 45 grams, but I'm just gonna track that as extra. I know it's low in calories, so that's about 48 grams of kale. And then for the higher calorie stuff here, have about 50 grams of avocado, 30 grams. You know, the avocado I'm actually pretty impressed with. That 50 grams is about half the avocado, so I do get to, wow, again, right, at 52 grams, so just about there for the avocado. I am going to treat myself. I hardly ever use nutritional yeast, pretty much never, because learning from medical medium, which I do follow some of that dietary, I guess, theory, if you will, as well, because it's helped me with a lot of chronic health issues. Nutritional yeast is supposedly hidden MSG, so really not something I recommend using often. But in terms of, we eat so many processed foods, most of us, that have natural flavors in them, which is 10 times worse from what I know than nutritional yeast. So I think once in a while this can be an okay treat, but if you got neurological issues or anything, not the best way to go, but it really does add a lot of flavor, especially on prep when you're on restricted calories. So tablespoon of that. God, I just looked into the flash and my eyes I can barely see anything. But let's see, so we're gonna try to measure out about a tablespoon. Oops, I went a little over there. Nutritional yeast. Okay, 1 tablespoon there. And then for dressing, I decided I'm just going to use some of this Whole Foods organic thick and chunky medium salsa. Super low calorie and packs a lot of flavor. Guys, I really recommend using salsa if you like it on prep. It's just one of those things that it just packs so much flavor for so few calories, because I'm someone who does not like very plain foods, even though it'd be good for me too. And I'm hoping that prep makes me appreciate plain foods more, but I need some flavor. So salsa gives me all the flavor with no fat and very few calories. So here's my tablespoon. See, I hope 2 tablespoons is the trick here. I usually like 3. I don't want to go too over my calories tonight though. So that there, and then pretty much I'm just going to, at that point, add some cayenne pepper for some spice, because the salsa is medium, and if you guys didn't know, I'm an absolute spice freak. Like, I have developed an abnormally high tolerance to spice. Nothing feels spicy to me anymore, which is not great for my stomach, but I'm gonna do some garlic powder as well, just to add a little bit more flavor. I could do raw garlic, which is even better for you, but I'm just lazy right now. I just worked all day. I've been up since 3:30. I don't have the energy right now. So put a little onion powder on there. Then finish up with some black pepper. I may want some salt on there, but I want to see first, because the salsa and nutritional yeast are pretty salty as is. You know what? I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna be a little sneaky here and do one more tablespoon of the salsa. It's only about 5 calories, so I'll just track that in there. Really need that extra flavor in here. And then I will just bring with salt in case I feel like I need to eat any more, but basically is the finished bowl. Mix that all up and that is dinner. And then the only thing not pictured here, I want to say I had about like 3/4 to 1 medium to large size banana. I did weigh out the grams. I don't remember it now. And I had some raspberries late at night just because I had such a long day yesterday and I was really trying not to eat again, but I was really, really hungry and didn't want it to affect my sleep. But other than that, that is everything. Thank you guys for watching my what I eat in a day, my first one I've ever filmed. Don't usually film these because it is just very time consuming, and I guess sometimes you don't realize how many times throughout the day, like at work when I have my snack in the afternoon, I'm like, oh my god, it just feels weird to pull out your camera and start filming my freaking banana and protein powder, you know? But so many props to you guys who film these all the time. I know it's a lot of work. So anyways, thanks for watching and look forward to documenting more of my prep journey soon.